A very quick video on how to change your life. Very basic and simple, because truth is simple. Treat yourself like a computer. Imagine yourself like a computer, or imagine yourself having a computer. In a computer, you open it, it has things it does, it has applications, or your computer could be your phone. Your phone has applications for games, it has applications for calculators, calendars, spreadsheets, so on and so on. So you are like a computer, you are like a phone. You put in what you want to do. So in your brain, you want to install things that you want out of your brain. So what do you want out of yourself? If you want a better life out of yourself, it must come from inside of here, but you must first put it in here to do the things. Like if you want a computer program to run a video game, you have to put in the instructions to run the video game, and so on. With humans, those instructions are just education. It's books, it's knowledge, it's information, it's life cheat codes. It's all it is. It's all information. So find that one thing you want to do, and just bombard your brain with information. Some of it will stick, some of it will be forgotten, but you just got to repeat it and put it again. Like a book, you could read it 5 times, and each time you'll get something different out of it. That's basically what this video is about. Is you're just a computer. If you want a certain result, you gotta put in certain instructions, and you gotta look for it. You gotta want it. You gotta in the first place, you gotta find out that you could do this. You could do this. It's hard work. You're gonna doubt yourself many times, but you gotta keep doing it. Put that information in your brain, install it. Sooner or later, after years of doing this, years, because for many years you learned to do otherwise, to not want to read, to slack off, to just be like whatever, and you learn to be okay with those things. Just fine. If you want to be like that, it's fine. But if you want something different, and you wish it was easy to attain, then it's not gonna happen by wishing. Wishing is a waste of time. Hoping is a waste of time. Action is where it's at. Even your thoughts, even if you just think things, it's not really gonna happen. It's more your actions. Your actions speak louder than your thoughts and words. Your actions create momentum and push you to eventually get closer to your goal. And so keep doing those actions. Actions doesn't mean you gotta be physical, but writing out plans, strategizing, taking information, doing website, buying stuff to sell it for more. Actions matter more. So another thing about being programmed that I forgot to touch base on is the reason we have so much crime, we have so many things, aside from like people with mental health issues, they're probably the exception, but they could be taught manners and stuff like that, good behavior. A lot of the communities that are affected by crime, it's because criminals end up raising criminals. And I'm not saying like the minorities are just inherently criminal. No, it's because they're in like bad conditions. They kind of are inclined to do illegal stuff to survive, and that kind of behavior just gets passed on and it gets reprogrammed into their children. So the children grow up like that, and it's an unending cycle unless they move out of the city where they grew up in, and surround themselves by kids that are more affluent and have better habits and believe in a different work ethic and a way of living. So kids that end up in jail, they were programmed to end up in jail by their parents, by their environment, not at their fault. It's just, you know, their environment. Moving out of a city that's horrible is the best idea, in my opinion. Is the number one key to undoing the programming that minorities grew up in. So yeah, minorities grow up in bad environment. They need to undo it, because if they stay in the bad neighborhood, everything just gets reinforced that like they should steal, they should rob, they should commit crime, and you know, and to move them out of there, it's basically move them out into a place where it's like they're like the only ones that were part of the bad neighborhood. Because let's say you move two bad friends from two minorities that do bad things from one bad neighborhood to a good neighborhood together, they're gonna hang out together and do bad things over there. Maybe less likely, but they probably will. But let's say just one of them, the whole family moves out to a good neighborhood. They send their minority kid to a good affluent school. That minority kid has no choice but to pick up the pace and you know, kind of do good. I mean, they could still fail, but at least they won't be exposed to the drugs as much in the streets, exposed to the gang violence in the streets, especially when they're young, because you know they can't drive, so they're not going to drive all the way back to their old bad neighborhood. So it increases the chance. It's not guaranteed, but increases the chances. So that's all I gotta say is with programming. Kids get programmed to do bad stuff because the parents have that programming in them. To undo it, parents need to be the primary source of influence in their children, and they are. And teachers are not enough. Parents should have that influence. All I'm basically saying is that parents should have some kind of education that helps them communicate with their children effectively, because lots of the times parents try to explain to kids in a way that's very demeaning. Parents yell at their kids instead of communicating well and learning how to pretty much convince their kids about what's right, what's wrong, and be an effective leader. Parents are the leader, but if children don't see that, then children are going to follow other kids that have a big influence, and many times those kids with influence probably have a bad influence, and that's when your kids are lost into gangs, into violence, into drugs, because a parent was not a good leader. That's all I'm saying. Alright, see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.